going to actually pick it right back up and go into a little bit now about what you as citizens might do with this new MS4 program. So, Mike?
I got the wraparound pick from Melissa Higgins' job. Okay, so this part of the presentation, we are finally pivoting into solutions, and hopefully we'll leave you on a more upbeat note than everything you've heard from the beginning of the presentation tonight. So I will talk about a case that I worked on, Penn Future v. DEP in Upper Gwynedd Township, which will result in some changes to the MS4 permitting program. And I'll focus specifically on upcoming opportunities for public participation and ways for you personally to get involved in your municipality's stormwater planning, opportunities that will be coming up during this calendar year. And at the very end, I'll talk very briefly about some potential for collaborative solutions and some ideas for, more general solutions going forward. So, Penn Future v. DEP in Upper Gwynedd Township. This is a case that Penn Future initiated in the summer of 2013 and settled in November 2014 with the Department of Environmental Protection. Over the course of the appeal, we raised problematic concerns about the department's public permitting process for MS4s and MS4 municipalities, and I won't get into the specifics of it. But we basically among other things, we didn't think that the permit requirements were sufficiently rigorous, especially when it had to do with managing TMDLs, as Patrick mentioned before, and the waste load reductions required under the TMDLs. We also had some specific concerns about the plans that Upper Gwynedd Township had proposed, although we probably could have raised the same concerns about many other municipalities in the state. This isn't necessarily an Upper Gwynedd problem. The result of that, I think, is some major improvements to the MS4 permitting process, and we'll talk about some of those and specifically some of the opportunities that will be available to you to get involved in the process over the next coming months. So the first public participation opportunity is a revised MS4 general permit. And as I mentioned, there is a statewide general permit to manage MS4s in the state of Pennsylvania. It's updated, it's supposed to be updated every 5 years over the course of, it hasn't quite been updated that frequently in history, but the last version was issued in 2013. And we are on pace for the next version to be put into effect in 2018. So that version of PAG 13 that would go into effect in 2018 is now available on DEP's website, and it will be open for public comment probably sometime within the next couple weeks. Although it's available to look at now, the public comment period will open shortly. So this is a good opportunity, especially if you're involved in MS4s, if you're familiar with them, look at the permit, look at some of the changes that have made between 2013 and 2018, and you can offer your comments on those. And if you'd like some more information about some of the changes specifically to look for, I'm more than happy to talk to you offline about that. In general, I think the changes that are coming are improvements, and I think it's something worth supporting. Although there's certainly always room for improvement, so if you see room for improvement, no reason not to mention it. One of the other things you'll see available right now is also on DEP's website is what they're calling an MS4 requirements table. And it basically lays out municipality by municipality what the obligations are for each municipality in the next permit cycle, what they have to do. And these all tie back into the permit requirements that you'll see in the MS4, the PAG 13, the MS4 permit. The opportunity here, it basically lists every impaired stream in the state as it goes through each municipality. So this is a good opportunity for you to look at that and say, hey, this creek, that's not in this municipality. Why is this listed here? That's not in Abington Township. That's in South Abington Township. That's up in Lackawanna County. Why do they have it listed here? Or in the alternative, wait, why isn't this? I know this creek is here. I know it's impaired. Why isn't it listed here? So this is a good opportunity for people who have that local knowledge to look at the table and offer their comments. The second public participation opportunity is coming up later this year. And especially in the Municipal watershed, this could be a very critical opportunity. As we mentioned before, for municipalities in impaired watersheds, they need to submit to the department a plan for reducing their stormwater pollution contributions. In the last permit cycle, that came in the form of a TMDL plan, which was broken up into two pieces, TMDL strategy, TMDL design details. I'm not going to get into specifics of that. Basically, overall, what it's supposed to do is say, we polluted at this level, we need to get down to this level, this is how we're going to manage that gap. Each municipality submitted that sometime around September 2012 with their original permit. Here, DEP it's taken some time, in part because of the litigation that was going on. DEP has taken the time to review those TMDL strategies and has now sent comment letters back to municipalities, and the municipalities are going to be required to revise their plans and submit them back to the department later this year. I have them broken up into the two different categories. I believe almost every municipality is in the first category, within the Wissahickon watershed is within the first category, which means they have TMDL strategies pending, which means their timeline is a little bit earlier. TMDL design details, I think Abington Township, I haven't been able to confirm this, it's a little harder to confirm. I think Abington Township may be in the second category. I'm not sure that Upper Moreland, I'm not quite sure where they fall. But basically, what's happened is DEP, by March 1st, sent a comment letter to the municipalities critiquing their plan for reducing stormwater pollution. The municipality has until December 31st, 2015 to revise their plan and submit it back to the state. But here's the key. Before they submit it back to DEP, they have to open it up to public participation. They have to open it up to public review and receive comments from the public on their stormwater management plan, which means they have to make it available for you. We expect that period will probably come, it has to be a 30-day public comment period. We expect that will probably come November, December this year. That's probably when to look for it. Different municipalities can choose to do it earlier if they're able to do so and they choose to do so. So it's worth keeping an eye and ear out for. And I would say if you have contacts in the municipality, if you're part of the EAC, if you know people who may be working on this, if you're familiar with your township engineer, ask. There's no reason you can't get involved with the process sooner, and I think that may actually be more beneficial. I think most people, if they're like me, once they've worked on it for a while and they get to something that they consider complete, they're a little bit more reluctant to take suggestions and make some changes. That's something to get involved with, probably later this year, but nothing is stopping you from getting involved now. And I will say I do have copies of all of the TMDL strategy review letters that DEP has issued for the municipality, and I'm more than happy to share them if you're interested in getting copies of those for your municipality. And the TMDL design details, which may be Abington Township, that will come a little bit later, and the deadline is March 31st, 2016 on that. So just really quickly talking about some possibilities that may be coming down the pipe for managing this on a broader level in municipalities. As I said before, really difficult to adjust these problems municipality by municipality. So there are a couple things that are happening that may make it easier for the boroughs and townships and the Wissahickon watershed to work together and try to adjust these problems, try to achieve some economies of scale, and try to fix the problems together. One is a collaboration with the Department of Environmental Protection is actually helping to try to facilitate and trying to bring communities together to try to work together and solve the problem. We'll see where that goes. It's ongoing and it's still in the very early phases, but it's something to keep an eye on. And something that may or may not come out of that or could result independently is the idea of a stormwater authority, which is an authority is basically a piece of local government. It's a body of local government that's formed to manage specific functions. In this case, could be used to manage stormwater, which would allow it to collect fees to manage stormwater, which would make some of the other problems that we've been talking about a little bit easier to deal with. So I think that's all I have. I'll turn it back over to Patrick.